Today we will be showing you how to install standing seam metal roofing on an A-frame style structure. You can start with the drip edge assembly. Start by locating the drip edge and aligning it with the edge of the fascia board. Fasten the drip edge to the fascia board using 3/4 inch stainless steel screws. Continue across, spaced every 24 inches. Measure the remaining distance and with that measurement mark the drip edge. Cut the drip edge where you put your mark, and using the previous steps, install the remaining drip edge. Snap a line all the way across the drip edge at the bottom in order to determine where the bottom of each panel will be placed. You can now move on to the standing seam assembly. Locate one of the standing seam panels and fasten it to the TNG roof boards below using one 3/4 inch stainless steel screw 1 inch from the top down on each panel. Fasten the metal clips to the TNG using two 3/4 inch stainless steel screws. Space the metal clips out approximately 24 inches apart. Take the next standing seam panel and connect together using the tongue and groove section of the panels. Press down firmly or use a rubber mallet to connect the two pieces. Continue this process until you get to the last panel. Measure the distance from the edge of the metal to the edge of the roof. Add 3/4 inch to that measurement and mark your metal and snap a line. Cut the panel on the line using the tin snips. After it's cut, snap another line at the actual measurement needed on the roof. This will allow the 3/4 inch metal to be bent. Use a metal brake and re-bend the cut edge. Install the final standing seam panel. Repeat this process for the opposite side of the structure. You can now move on to the rake trim assembly. You can now locate the rake trim. Place the rake trim against the face rafter and over the bent edge of the metal. Use a speed square to make your marks for cutting the face and top of the rake trim. Cut the top square with the back side of the roof. Then cut the bent part so that it aligns where the face boards meet. Align the bottom of the rake trim with the edge of the drip edge. Mark the rake trim as shown in the manual and ensure the bottom is flush with the drip edge. Cut the rake trim where you made your marks. Do not cut the bent end on this rake trim side. Face screw the rake trim to the face rafter using 1 inch painted hex screws every 24 inches. You can now move on to the Z trim and ridge cap assembly. You can now locate the Z trim. Measure the space between the first rib and the rake and cut accordingly. Place the Z trim 4 inches down from the peak. Fasten the Z trim using two 3/4 inch stainless steel screws. Install the Z trim on both sides of the roof all the way across. You can now locate the ridge cap. Place the ridge cap on the roof and align the ridge cap with the edge of the rake trim. Start installing the capping by drilling a 1/8 inch hole through the capping and rake trim and install a pop rivet. Using a 1/8 inch drill bit, drill through the ridge cap and into the Z trim. Pop rivet the ridge cap to the Z trim every 12 inches or between every rib. Overlap the ridge cap no less than 6 inches. Cut the ridge cap if needed. Use a touch-up paint marker to cover up any scratches that occurred during installation. You have now finished your installation of the standing seam metal roofing.